Welcome to the At Leisure Podcast. This is a show about sports, video games, movies, and just basically the things we do with our leisure time. My name is Brett, and I'm here with my good friend Spencer. And as promised, we are here to talk about our new favorite show, Andor. Dude, how you doing, Spencer? What's up?
I'm doing pretty good. Just chilling
Just-
and literally just chilling. Like, I'm not doing anything right now. So talking
Oh,
about
good.
Andor, I guess that's all that
Yep,
matters.
that's what you're doing. All right, so just a warning up top: we're about to get hot and heavy with the spoilers. So if you have not seen the show, I don't really know what you're doing here, but go watch it and then come back because it's definitely worth your time. So yeah, we're just gonna dive into it. This is your warning. Let's start off with just the broad question of, man, what did you think of this show?
Oh man, it's kind of okay. So going into it, I was really down bad on Disney as a whole and Star Wars, especially after the Obi-Wan series and how disappointed I was in that. And right before that was Boba Fett and how disappointed in that I was, or I guess was that after? I don't know. They were
Boba
both
Fett was first, and then
they
Obi
were
Wan.
both trash.
Obi
And
Wan had some highs that I liked a lot, but Boba
yeah,
Fett.
you're less critical.
I'm
on
less
Star Wars
critical
than
of
I am.
Obi Wan.
Yeah, but so I was excited about this one even when I first heard it because it looked like the movie Rogue One, which was my favorite Star Wars movie. So if it's in the same vein, I was hoping to like it, but I wasn't expecting it to be as good as it is. It's crazy.
How could you?
No,
They
yeah,
had shown no signs of it even coming close to what it is.
there wasn't even like a big like ad campaign for it. Like I didn't see
Sometimes
hardly
you
any
open
trailers.
Disney Plus and it's not on the front page. You have to go find it. I'm like, what are y'all doing? This is your best show.
And it's like they didn't believe in it. And then once they started hearing all like the hype, they're like putting it on Hulu now to get more people to watch it because Disney Plus people aren't watching it because they didn't advertise it.
I also think it's on. I think they're going to put it on TNT or something like that for a little
Really
bit. Yeah,
good. It deserves it.
so
So
it does, but it's just like, what are y'all doing? This is your best show, and you're like hiding it in the dirt.
yeah,
So for me, love this show. Obviously, it's my third favorite show of all time right now, and season 2 coming out has the opportunity to move up in my rankings.
what's above it? What are the two above it?
Well, right now I've got The Chosen and then Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Okay.
So those are 1, 2, 3 right there. But man, like you said with the other shows, it was like every episode I was just like, all right, this is the episode they're gonna ruin it. This is the episode they're gonna ruin it. We're not gonna be able to keep this train going. But
It was
dude,
like
they
it
did.
was like 6 episodes in when you started to believe in the show.
Yeah, you're like, are they doing this? Is this for real?
Yeah.
Even in the finale, I'm like, they're gonna mess it up. They're gonna have a battle in Mos Espa with a Rancor just destroying everything. They're gonna do something stupid.
Bad CG. Yeah.
Nothing like that, honestly. And it never had a moment where, like in Kenobi, like I said, I like Kenobi, but like there's moments where you have to just stop thinking, turn your brain off, and just watch it because
Yeah.
it is what it is. You know, like Riva getting stabbed like 4 different times and she's fine. There's a
Yeah,
whole
never
bunch
dying. Yeah.
to think about with the Kenobi show, and same thing with Boba Fett. But in this show, if you turn your brain off, you're going to be lost. You
Mhm.
have to pay attention, and everything makes sense. And not at once did I think, okay, that's stupid. You know,
Yeah.
and that
This
never happened in the other shows. Like
it
there
was not for
yeah.
kids at all.
Yes, and it was 12 episodes of this. 12. Like that's more than the other shows, and they were pretty long. I mean, they were probably around 40 minutes plus each,
Yeah.
which that was more than I was expecting.
Yeah, and I mean, I think we're gonna talk about this, but like them going into like each there's like 3 episodes stories, I guess story arcs, I guess. This is like 3 movies in
Yes.
one TV show.
I love how they did that. I wish more TV shows did that. It feels like we got 4 movies instead of like a full like a serialized TV show. It was like
Yeah.
4 movies.
And it took 2 months instead of 6 years to make those 4 movies, like to watch them, I
Right.
guess.
Right. Okay, of those 4 arcs, so you've got like the escape from the local police at the beginning, then you've got like the heist, and then the prison, and then the revolt at the end.
Mhm.
Which one was your favorite? Which one did you like the most?
Okay. I am notoriously not a fan of prison movies. Like Shawshank Redemption is so low on my movie list that it makes everyone I know mad. But I think that might be my favorite arc for sure. And I guess also at that point I was already so sold into the show that I was like on the edge of my seat in every scene. So that probably helped a lot instead of like it opening up with that.
Mhm.
But it's still my favorite. I felt that it was real. It wasn't Star Warsy enough, so it felt like it wasn't like a Hollywood prison. It didn't feel like a fake prison. It felt like legit reality
Felt
prison.
super oppressive.
Yeah, and like I felt bad for the characters, unlike like oh they're gonna get out of it. I didn't know if they were gonna get out of it. I don't know who was gonna survive and who wasn't. Like
You get to know all those guys at his table, and you're like, any of these guys could die.
yes,
Like
yes,
I don't know,
yeah. So
and a lot of them do. Only one of them survives.
yeah, dude.
That's another thing I loved about this show, man. It just
Yeah,
felt like
is he the first
Andor
person?
was the only one with plot armor.
Oh yeah, yeah. I feel like he wasn't like the main character, so we kind of like saw the world through him, but he wasn't like it wasn't about him necessarily. Like it wasn't his story. It was like kind of his story, but also a bunch of other people's. You know? Does that make sense?
Yeah, a
Like
lesser show would have
yeah,
him giving the speeches, but instead he was like, Kino, you give the speeches. You
yeah,
lead this prison break because I'm
yeah,
not there yet.
yeah. Like the main character is the birth of the rebellion, and he's just like the facilitator of that. So I like that a lot about the show.
Yeah, I think my favorite was the heist. Like everything about it, even the finale of the heist was awesome. And going back to just people dying left and right, man, I thought some of them would survive, but most of them died, except for the
Yeah,
girls. And I guess they just didn't want to show the girls getting shot down in cold blood. But
yeah,
man, it was like you get to know each of these characters and then like their reasoning for it. And
and none of
there's
them are
so much good
glorified.
about this show. I'm like jumping all over the place. I'm
Yeah,
trying to think like
when,
keep it concise here. So
when yeah, whenever they die in that little arc, none of them die in like some glorious like dedicated like scene. Like they just died, and the next scene moves on. You're like, wait, what happened to that guy? And now, oh, I just saw him die. Like just quick.
so Terriman is like one of the he's like the former soldier that's
Hmm.
in their group. He just dies. He gets shot, and I'm like, wait a minute, was that
Yeah,
Terriman?
that's
And
why.
then they barely acknowledge it. They just get on the thing and they fly away,
Yeah,
and you're like, Terriman's not with it. I guess he's dead. I guess that was him that got shot.
yeah,
That's crazy. That's just one of the main characters that they had set up the whole show. And boy, Nimic just getting crushed by the. You're like,
dude.
oh, he made it. This is the
Yes.
guy I expected to die the most, and he made it. And then, nope.
Sandwich.
And they keep him alive just long enough to escape, and then he gets they get to a planet where the doctor can save him.
Hmm.
He doesn't get saved.
Yeah.
He dies. You're like, holy crap!
Did he
I thought
did he
for
get to
sure.
see the space star thing, whatever the heck that was called? Did he get to see that, or was he knocked out at that point?
No, he got to see it. Remember
Okay.
that he was giving him the navigation because he was the only one who could read
Oh,
the.
that's right. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and so they were like
they're
shooting
like,
him with medicine to keep him
yeah,
alive. And he was like,
yes,
climb, climb, and then he dies on the doctor's table.
yeah. I felt like which is I felt it was a weird feeling. Like I felt bad for him. They're like he's hurting, and y'all are like pushing him past this point where he's not okay with. Like he wasn't okay with it, but they're like, I don't care if you don't care. We need to survive. Like juice
Yeah,
him
and
up.
like I know he's got such a commitment to the cause that you know that this is what he wants,
Oh yeah,
but just maybe not in the moment because he's in
yeah.
so much pain. But wow, just brutal.
I think he might be
Uh,
my favorite character too of the whole show.
you think he's your favorite?
Yeah.
I love his impact on Andor. I think that's awesome how they use him and his manifesto.
Hmm.
Lieutenant Gorn. I'm just going through the heist crew because I think this is my favorite one.
Oh yeah,
Like
no, you're
Lieutenant
good.
Gorn, I loved his interactions and how he like fell in love with an Aldani, and then like she dies and like he's just like bitter about it and like
Yep.
he's realizing the Empire's bad and he has to listen to all these people talk so much smack
Oh
around him
dude.
and like keep a front.
Yeah, it's to bite his
I,
lip the whole time.
I love it. And like the Empire's so like greasy and nasty there,
They
It's
yeah,
like
they don't make him like stiff, like obnoxious or like weird. They make him like cynical and real evil and
yes.
like
It's
very
evil in like a mundane way. I,
yeah,
I love it. It's
yeah,
how you can see how the empire becomes what it is through these people like the governor there, who just dies from a heart attack at a very
yeah.
inopportune time.
So random. I thought the heist was when that was happening, the buildup was pretty long. So like going into it, I was like, I literally have no idea what's gonna happen in this story.
I
They could
I
all
agree.
die, and Andor's the only one that survives.
But I love how they portrayed the heist. You knew exactly the steps that were going to happen. So if something
Hmm.
was going wrong, you understood it with them.
Yeah,
Sometimes I watch a movie, they give a heist, and I'm like, okay, I barely know the plan. I just know they're doing it. But
yeah,
this one, I knew every step of the plan. I felt like I was with them planning it, and
yeah,
like even like Vale, she's the leader, and there's that one point where she's on the bridge, and they're like, "Hey, are we gonna do this?" And she's like scared, like
yeah,
she's like freezes up, and I don't know, because you can see like because Luthen, which we'll get to, is like training her to be a leader, and you can see right there at that moment that she's like, this is the first time she's leading. She
Has to
is
make the
like
call.
scared what's about to happen. And then the eye, when they're flying through the eye, oh, so cool! Like that was the best visuals of the show. I thought
Oh, by far,
so good.
by far.
And the
It was like
idea
it
of
was movie quality,
what were they going to do without Andor? You know, like what was their plan?
dude.
Who
I
was
don't
going to
know.
fly that thing?
Just wing it.
I guess that's why Luthen's like, you have to have him, or I'm
Yeah,
calling this off.
yeah,
But you'd think they'd have had that planned out ahead of time. Man, so good. That was my favorite arc. And we've talked about the prison. I loved how the prison was the same way, where you got to know these characters and you're like, any of them could die. They had a plan. You didn't really know their plan though, because he's like breaking that water pipe, and I'm like, what is he
yeah. I
doing?
was so confused about that.
Yeah. But then the water gets on the floor, and you're like, oh,
Yeah,
I see. And that's
yeah.
pretty cool.
The feeling of the heist, I felt like was it's not nervous. It's more like you're super scared of what's going to happen. You're real nervous about it, but I feel like, and you feel it with the characters in every
Yeah.
single scene. But
Tense.
in the prison one, I feel like I feel dread more in that one,
Yeah.
because I guess in their situation I feel more dread, but I felt that emotion more in the prison one, which I guess is more visceral for me. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, not knowing what's going to happen the entire show, and then as things are happening, still not being like able to believe it or just assume that things are going to go off without a hitch. It's too much, bro. Too much.
It was so good. It was so good. It's just these are just regular people. It just feels like regular people in the Star Wars universe. Like in the prison break, one guy, he's got a gun, he's shooting, he gets shot, he falls down, and some other dude just comes up, picks his
Yeah.
gun, and goes until he gets shot.
And
You
you
know?
can tell they don't know how to use it. Like they're just like,
Yeah.
you know,
They're awkwardly climbing the
yes.
ladders, trying to get up there, trying to attack them, and they're just getting shot the whole time. And you're like,
Yeah.
this is real. Like this is how it would go down.
Like even like the detail of in that scene when they're breaking out, Andor shoots the guy's foot and then he falls
Yeah.
and then he gets shot in the head. Like,
Yeah.
I was like, oh gosh, that's not very
Jeez.
Star Warsy.
No, he straight up pins a guy in the ground and just shoots him point blank at one point. I was like, golly, that's
Yeah.
brutal. The blaster fire, man, like I was saying in our previous episode, just feels more real and visceral. Like it doesn't bounce off people. Like in Boba Fett, people just take blasters left and right.
Yeah,
you
or
know,
they'll get like shot
or
10 feet
even the
back from a pistol.
Mandalorian.
When that happened in the Mandalorian, I think it was Mandalorian, not Mandalorian, Boba Fett. Someone got shot with a pistol and like knocks him 5 feet back. I'm like, what? You know, that doesn't make any sense. And then this one, I think at the end there's like a tank scene where it like a big bolt hits him and it knocks him back. I was like, see, that makes sense. That's a tank.
Yeah. You've got a cannon,
Yeah,
a mounted cannon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But sorry,
Yeah,
I
it
wasn't
just
gonna
it
derail you.
feels and it's like people in this one, they get one bolt and they're dead. You know, there's no coming back from that. You're not getting stabbed 4 times and surviving in Andor. You're getting shot once and you die. Just like Tim at the very beginning when we talked about last. He's running down that steps. He just shot once and he's dead.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like that the whole show. People just dying
Yeah.
left and right. It's crazy. No one's
Real.
connected to any destinies. The Force isn't really there. Or, you know, it's just regular people. It's just a bunch of guys named Tim, Tay, or Brazo. You know.
Yeah, I was in the prison scene. I was like surprised that only one made it out, and he's also
in
like
Rogue One too.
in
He's
Rogue
like a
One,
minor
yeah.
character in Rogue
Yeah.
One.
And we don't see him like after the episode. He goes off. So
Yeah,
maybe we'll
they're
see him
just
in the next season.
they're both like I guess it's just us.
Yeah.
We got to tell someone, I guess.
I wonder, and I respect them not telling you, but like it doesn't tell you the result of everyone that escaped. If they all got caught, who died, who made it? Because like for all we know, it's just them two, or it could be thousands of people. Like,
Yeah,
but
just
they
don't
wouldn't
know.
know, so we wouldn't know.
Exactly. It's a big galaxy.
Yeah.
If they're escaping, they're finding a way out of there.
Yeah.
The ending was really good. I loved Marva and her hologram like speech and the buildup of them like trying to put Andor in a box. We'll get to Dedra as well, but her like plan, how it's like smart, but also it backfires on her so spectacularly.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm interested to see the repercussions of that in the next season.
Yeah, the that last episode. So I kind of liked. This is like one of my only like things I like thought was okay versus being great was the way they presented the Marva speech a little bit. I thought was a little Star Warsy more than the rest of the show, but it wasn't off putting. I was like, oh wait, this is a Disney Star Wars show, you know, versus like just a serious TV show that I found on Hulu or something, you know. But as soon as that speech ended and they got into a big fight and stuff, I was like back into it again. But
Yeah, they're like it's like super close quarters and
it's the
like
brick.
claustrophobic. Yeah, he's got the he's hitting them with
It's the
her
freaking
her
yeah.
ashes brick.
Just destroys people with it.
Yeah,
Oh
I love
gosh,
that.
that scene was cool.
I liked the speech. Maybe that's because I like Star Wars more, but
Yeah,
I really like you can see like this is talking directly to Andor too. You know, like this is his mom and she's saying these things and inspiring a whole town and
yeah.
Andor's there listening. You know, like
And
this
isn't that the
shapes
twist?
him into becoming the rebel that he is.
Yeah, isn't she like the Andor twist is like she's the spark of the rebellion essentially, not him, right?
Kind of. Yeah, kind
Because
of.
like they said her name or whatever in the speech, right?
She sparks him to
Yeah.
become a big part of it for sure. I mean, she sparks definitely where's that Ferrix?
Hmm.
Beyond that, we don't know yet. We'll see
Yeah.
in the next one. Moving on to that first part of the series, we covered pretty good. So if you want to hear that, you can go listen to the other episode
Oh yeah.
from the first
The
three.
original three.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Have
The
anything to add on those arcs?
yeah the I guess the ending arc it had so much. There's so much more to it. Like it had so much backing it. And you could talk about it a lot more obviously than like some of the other arcs. But the whole fight scene with them just like brawling
Yeah.
with like and then people just getting gunned down and they don't care like they're still brawling felt like
Yes.
a real like riot. Like some people just don't care, like they're gonna throw their lives out, and that's what they're doing, and they're getting shot down and they're just taking some of those stormtroopers to the ground and just beating them, taking their gun, getting shot, and then some dude pick up that gun like you were saying and then keep going at them. I'm like, holy crap.
Yeah.
This is
It's
real.
awesome. It's
Yeah.
wild. And I loved the idea too that Bix's brother's son, I think it was, just was building a bomb and just staring at his dad's image like I'm gonna die
He just
today
had it in his
because
hand.
I'm mad,
Yeah.
you know? And it's like that whole town was starting to feel that way.
Yeah.
And like you could see it simmering.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, that's a good way to start the episode
Yeah.
because you're like, ah,
This is how the
this is
town
the
feels, and
mood.
you can actually see the result of what's going to happen. Like, yeah.
Yeah. I loved though in this series that the Empire is scary again, man. They can shoot, they can kill people. They legit torture Bix. They torture
Mhm.
her, and they do it in like an insane way. Of like, here, this is a set of screams that drove people insane, and then of people dying, of
Yeah.
aliens dying, and then we're gonna find the kids, kill them, record their audio so that we can use this as a torture
Dude,
device. That's
that's so dark.
that's so dark. And it's like you could have so easily have done that torture scene in another way. You could have done it like the classic Star Wars where they show the needle and that
Mhm.
little droid and then shut the door. But
Yeah.
instead they're like, "No, we're going to show how evil this is." And the guy who's administering the torture
Oh,
is happy about it.
dude,
The
he's
man is
psycho.
gleeful.
Yeah. He's like telling her the science behind it, and he's like, look how cool this is. Like,
Yeah, Dentra's like, "All right, you can have him." And he's like, "Thank you, finally."
yes,
Yeah. I'm like,
dude.
"Oh, dude. Oh."
I wish, like, okay, I wouldn't wish. I was expecting a lot more for her character, but literally her whole most of the show, she's just being tortured. Like,
I
she's just
know Bix,
being
yeah.
punished. It's
she
crazy.
she looks like she's in rough shape, and good on that actor for being like, because she's pretty, but like she did not look good at the
No.
end. She's like, I'm gonna look as bad as possible.
Yeah.
She looks like she's been tortured.
Yeah.
Sometimes you watch a show and you're like, nah, they're not.
And there's not even like a resolution. Like, she's still in rough shape when you like
Who
the end of the
knows?
show.
Yeah,
You
how
don't know
that's
what's gonna
gonna
happen.
affect her in the next
Yeah.
season. But back to the Empire being actually scary. I just kept thinking about the rise of Skywalker and how the Emperor was like back and he's like, "Rah!" and he's shooting lightning in the sky and they've got thousands of spaceships and they're like, "We're evil." I'm like, this is the opposite of that. This is how you do it. Yeah, I don't want to see that anymore. Let's not ever do that again.
Just
So
slap ISB on everything, and I'm gonna be scared
exactly. Like, I am all the Sith. If Dedra would have said that, I'd turn the TV off.
of it. Dude, what? Dude, she has some great acting though. At
Dude,
the
she
end,
was good.
and
At
she
the
went from
beginning of the
like,
show, I found myself rooting for her. Like,
oh,
yeah,
yeah,
you show him. You show him, girl.
yeah,
You climb this ladder.
yeah.
And then you get there and you're like, oh crap, she's actually evil. Like, she's good at her job. This is bad.
Yeah. Like, and then she goes from like the most like power hungry or like powerful person in the show to like instantly being the most vulnerable little child who's panicking in that fight. Like
Yeah,
he's
it shows that she's a leader, but she's not a fighter at
no,
all.
yeah,
Like
yeah. And
she's like close to close hand to hand combat, and she's just like just shrinking to it, and they're
yeah,
like beating her, and she's like getting drug across the ground. I'm like, are
dude.
they gonna kill her?
I thought they were gonna kill her,
I
dude.
have no idea what this show's gonna do.
I thought they were gonna like brutally like just beat her to a
I
pulp or
thought so
something.
too.
And I was like, I mean, she's evil, but I kind of like
I
her.
mean, yeah, yeah. Got to do
She's a
what you
good
got to
villain.
do, Ferrix.
Yeah.
It was interesting too because her rivalry with like Blevins in the ISB,
Hmm.
I loved that. But then Blevins kind of fades to the back, so I'm interested to see if he's going to come back strong now that she's failed in the
Yeah.
second season.
The
So
whole
I loved
relationship
the
teasing too.
say that again.
The relationship teasing that was
Yeah,
going on between them. I was like, what the frick is going on, dude?
no. You're talking about Serial, right? You're talking about the real big old creep
Oh yeah, yeah,
who's
yeah.
with his
Sorry,
mom.
I thought you were talking about him. My bad.
No,
No.
I'm talking about Blevins in the ISB, the guy she was like trying to get permission to take the files from.
Oh
He's
yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah. Sorry.
yeah, he
I
was
got
like
you
denying
confused.
her assistant, and he's like they're both like trying to get the approval of the
Hmm.
old head ISB guy,
Yeah.
and so I'm interested to see that. But you're talking about Serial, who is I don't think his payoff for his character is until next season
No,
because I kept waiting for it and it wasn't there. But he is the creepiest. They're like you were saying the relationship thing. Ugh,
dude.
ugh.
Because he's not even like. I guess he's likable, but it's like it's so cringe or creepy. Everything he does,
Yes, everything.
it's
Yeah.
entertaining. But what is he doing? Like, what are we watching with this
What
character?
is his role even?
Yes.
Sometimes he would be in the show. I'm like, what are we building to with this
Yeah.
guy? You know? I'm interested. I like
Yeah.
his character because he's just like driven in a creepy way and he's like stalkish because he sees Dedra and himself or
Yeah.
himself and Dedra and like he loves like their passion for the empire and justice and I don't know, it's just and they found a perfect actor for how weird he is and like he's like depressed at the beginning and once he loses all he had after failing to capture Andor and
His
boy
mother.
it's I'm interested to see what they do with him for
His
sure.
mother's the worst, dude. Oh my gosh, that lady drove me up the wall. Every time I saw her, I was like, "Oh gosh, I gotta watch this lady berate her poor son." Gosh.
Yeah, you can see how he is.
Dude, dude, when he was he's eating his cereal, and she's like beating him, like you know, you suck basically, and
Uh
your son. And then he's like, "I got a promotion," and she's like, "I knew it. I know you could do it." And she just flips a switch. I'm like, "What the heck? This lady's a psychopath. No
what a
wonder he's
weird thing to see in the
act
Star Wars universe.
oh." And he's
But
organizing his cereal and like everything real meticulous, you know, for his
mhm.
character. Oh,
And it's funny that his name is Cereal Corn, I
yeah,
think. Man, that's the thing about the show though, is I just love how they spent time. They took their time with the characters, with the events, the like payoffs. Like they were not trying to rush through it. You know, it was they made it like a movie because they gave it the time it deserved for all these characters. Like I cared about everyone in the heist. I cared about everyone in the prison. Like going back to the prison, Kino Loy, man, he starts out as a guy who's just like trying to keep his head down. He just wants to get out of there. And then when he realizes he's not getting out of there, it's like a switch flips for him too, you know, and you see that.
the
And the whole time he's hesitating because he knows I am going to die. I can't swim. I'm going to
yeah.
die. I'm going to save all these people, but I am going to die.
I do the ability for this show. I don't know whoever's job this is, but every minor character they do it so well that I want a like them to be a major plot line in every episode. Every single character, I'm like this. He has like 2 or 3 lines. I'm like, who's this guy? He
Give
seems
me more.
interesting.
Give me more.
Yeah, I'm like golly, and then all half of them die. You know, but
Yeah. Yeah. Well, do you think Kino's dead? I hope we never find out.
I'd rather not find out than to find out and
Yeah.
him be dead.
Or alive. I don't want to see any more of him. I think
Yeah,
that's great. Just
I'm
leave it
okay with
there.
that.
That guy helped Andor break out of prison.
Yeah,
We don't need to see him again. The only reason I'd want to see him again is because he's Andy Serkis,
yeah.
and that Andy Serkis is a great actor.
If even if they did like I mean, this is my line. It would be like a very small, random, like Easter egg that affirms that he's alive somewhere, and that's all.
Yeah,
You don't see, you
yeah,
don't hear him, you don't see him. You just see some random thing of his, just to be like, So in the back of my mind, I have the peace of mind to know that he made it
that
out
he's alive.
because I'm rooting for him.
But again, in a lesser show, like Andor's like, hey, come on, I got you. And then we'll both swim to the shore
Yeah.
because like that's super unrealistic. If he had another guy on his back, he would have died in the
Oh
ocean.
yeah.
You know, it's like
I
you
was
can't do that.
I was
But
waiting for
then
some.
also they have him knock off so that it's not like Andor just left him. Because Andor in this show, let's dive into Andor a little bit. How do you think they handled his character? Did you like it?
Yes, I liked at the beginning. I felt like it was about him. The first three movies or three episodes were like
Mm-hmm.
his character, but then it went from you established his character enough to now we're seeing everything through him instead of his like character development. Like there was a main character development of him like getting into the rebellion, but other than that, it was just him like seeing other people do make those steps themselves or like being already committed in the rebellion in different stages of their
Mm-hmm.
life. But I like that it wasn't constantly about him because, like I said earlier, every side character I met, I was like, I want to know more about them and not Andor. And that's not a
Yeah,
shot at Andor, but
you see how like all these characters end up shaping who he becomes,
yeah,
and that's really cool. Bix shapes him at first, and then Nimic, and then his mom Marva, and now it's going to be Luthen because he's joining him at the end. But oof, I know, dude, and it's so good. I love the growth. You don't see the character you see in Rogue One. You see a different character at the beginning, and that's really cool. That's not what some of these shows have done, you
yeah,
know, and I really appreciate that. And I also appreciate how ruthless Andor is, man. That guy is just trying to survive. Like he will kill anybody.
mm-hmm.
But I also like how he's not just killing to kill. Like he leaves those people alive on the prison because he's like, okay, they're not a threat. I'm not going to
Yeah,
shoot them. He leaves Serial alive because Serial is like not a threat. He's disarmed. He
yeah,
leaves people alive. He only kills them if he needs to kill them, but he will kill them. You
yeah.
know,
I
he's
wonder.
not afraid to.
I wonder if they're gonna lean into that more. I guess I'm skipping. I'm going to like future predictions, but like
Yeah,
I wonder if in the future we see him get harder and like more willing to just like kill. You know what I'm saying? Because like
dude. He already does. There's no one that he won't kill
yeah,
if it
but like
means
in
it's
Rogue
going
One
to
he
save his
kills
skin.
in Rogue One he kills an informant, like a guy who's for the rebellion. And
But you see how that happens because he's going to be trained under Luthen, and Luthen was willing to just off
that's
what was that guy's name?
oh,
Him. It was like 40 guys that he just lets die off screen. Like you never
one of
even
the
see him.
cells, yeah, one of the
Yeah,
terrorist cells, quote
golly, what
unquote.
is his name? Keeve. I can't remember his name,
Dude, yeah,
but you know who I'm talking about.
Keeger, I think.
Yes, yeah, Keegor. Yeah, that's right.
Dude,
There you
I
go.
can't believe that happened. I can't believe that
I
happened.
thought for sure we'd at least get to see some of it, but nothing.
They
It's
just
just an
talked about it.
off death screen, and you're like, okay, Luthen let that guy die. And now you see where Andor gets the ruthlessness of like, hey, everyone's just expendable, you know?
Yeah, I liked
Crazy.
Andor's. I mean, we talked about the dialogue a ton last episode, and I can talk about it, for the next
Yeah.
hour. But
Yeah, for sure.
they don't like explain everything going on to their words, which makes me like Andor more because if he's the main character, he's going to do the most talking, and if I get annoyed with what he's saying, then I'm not going to care. But like, he doesn't talk a ton.
No.
He just doesn't talk a lot.
Man of
He
action.
listens. So
Yeah.
I like that about his character too. He was an old chatty Cathy.
I do wish we knew more about his past. I still have so many questions about like how he grew up, where his sister's at. They just dropped that plot line totally.
Yeah, what was that?
I don't know what that's about. And okay, Marva and Clem rescue him, but what were they rescuing him from? Why was he on that planet? Who were the people in the ship? Were they, I have a lot of questions about that we don't get answered. So I hope we get answers in the second season.
Yeah,
That's probably my only negative on how they treated Andor's character, because otherwise I thought it was really cool. And I love how he gets through the heist and he does the thing he wants where he just goes on vacation and then he gets arrested for doing nothing.
yeah,
I love that. And then they have like that court, that like Dark Knight Rises style court where it's just like, all right, this guy gets 6 years.
yeah. Like
And then they
updated the
ship him
policy.
off. So, and I know you see how that shapes his character too. Like, okay, I can't ignore this anymore. Like,
Mhm.
no matter what, it is going to follow me.
They are everywhere. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I am screwed.
Yeah. What was your favorite moment? Do you have a favorite moment?
I mean, it's probably gonna be pretty predictable, but it's probably gonna be the Luthen speech, dude.
Dude, the
Standing
Luthen
up.
speech.
I was standing
That
up.
was the first thing that came to my mind too. Luthen speech, flying through the eye, and then Andor shooting Skeen, just pulling quick, shooting him.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? Skeen, the guy who was like, hey, I'm actually not who I said I was on the heist
Yes.
when they're trying to heal Nimic.
Yeah.
He's on the side. He's like, we can just take this and go. We can just leave him, and we can just go split up. And Andor's like, well, you would betray me too, I think. And
Hmm.
while in the middle of him talking, he just shoots him,
Dude.
just shoots him point blank, no hesitation, because he's
Dude.
like, that's what I have to do. That's what I got to do.
I was pissed at that guy because I liked him. I thought
Yeah,
his story was cool. They even named an
yeah,
episode after that dude. And in the
dude, I
next
know.
episode, he betrays you. I'm like, what the heck?
But that's what I love about the
I
show.
know it's so
I
great.
could
That's
not
why it's so good.
guess. I didn't know what was happening.
It is so good. So good.
His lines, the whole, I think it was the fourth episode where they're talking about why all of them are in the heist. Maybe it was the fifth one. I don't know. Where they're talking about why they're in the heist. And like one of his lines that they name it off of, the axe forgets, but the tree remembers.
Dude,
Oh,
yes.
so good.
Yeah.
And there was so many banger lines like that.
Yeah. All
Let's talk about the Luthen speech. I'm just going to read it because it's so amazing. And then think about other Star Wars shows and how this dialogue just blows it out of the water.
Dude,
Like I love Star Wars, but he's talking to that informant on the roof, and that guy and I already love how Luthen's got this guy like boxed in. Like
dude,
he can't do anything.
so
He is
bad for
there
him.
as a mole.
I felt so
And if he
bad.
leaves, he dies. And his family dies.
Dude, yeah, both sides are gonna kill him essentially.
He just can't escape. Like what a miserable way to live.
Yeah.
Luthen is just a monster in this show. I love it. But anyways, he's up there, and that guy's like, I'm sacrificing everything. What do you sacrifice? And he says,
And what do you sacrifice?
Calm. Kindness, kinship. Love. I've given up all chance at inner peace. I made my mind a sunless space. I share my dreams with ghosts. I wake up every day to an equation I wrote 15 years ago from which there's only one conclusion. I'm damned for what I do. My anger, my ego, my unwillingness to yield, my eagerness to fight, they set me on a path from which there's no escape. I yearn to be a savior against injustice without contemplating the cost, and by the time I look down, there was no longer any ground beneath my feet. What is my sacrifice? I'm condemned to use the tools of my enemy to defeat them. I burn my decency for someone else's future. I burn my life to make a sunrise that I know I'll never see. Now, the ego that started this fight will never have a mirror or an audience or the light of gratitude. So what do I sacrifice? Everything! Just stay with me, Lonnie. I need all the heroes I can get.
and it gave me chills. Just even reading it there gives me chills. I'm like, such good writing.
Dude.
Literally, just break this down a little bit. I share my dreams with ghosts.
Dude.
By the time I look down, there's no longer any ground beneath my feet. I'm condemned to use the tools of my enemy to defeat them. Just like banger after banger.
Dude.
And I'm watching this, and I pause it, and I'm like, I gotta watch this again. I'm turning on the what do you call it?
I did too.
Yeah, the closed captioning.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I got to get every piece of this. It's so good. I don't know who wrote that dialogue, but I would love them to write a book for me, please.
Dude, I need to watch more movies that they're involved with because I'm sure the dialogue is crazy.
And this just like sums up a character so well of this guy who has stolen the show. Like Noah Skarsgård is a great actor, but the character that they've created for him too is just amazing.
Dude.
Man, so good. And it's like he has all the tools. He's got the ship. He's got the spies. He's fighting the Empire. It's like even when they pull him over, he like knows exactly what the Empire is going to do. He has a countermeasure for everything that they do.
Okay. Speaking of the countermeasures, there's a whole conspiracy, about who this guy is, right? They think he's some old Jedi who's like retracted himself from the Force. He has kyber crystals, multiple, because apparently he has lightsaber wings or something wild. And those are kyber crystals. And he's a collector. And a lot of those things he wouldn't be able to get unless he's like knew someone or they're somehow involved with a lot of the artifacts that are like Jedi stuff. So I mean, it'd be kind of cool. I think that'd be a little cheesy.
I was about to say, it
It would
doesn't
take
feel
away
like
from his
something this
character.
show would do.
Yes, which is why I like it.
Yeah.
But this man could fight any Jedi and win. Is how I feel. Like he's
Dude's
Batman.
ruthless,
He's
man.
Batman in this
And he's
world.
like, even in his speech, he's like, I know I'm going to die doing this, but I'm prepared for every measure.
Yeah.
You know, I am ready. I'm going to go down, but at least I'm going to go down on my terms.
Yeah.
You know,
And everything
like-
he does, he knows he's not going to get any
recognition.
recognition or like see the fruit of his labor. Essentially, like
Yeah.
just nothing. He's
Yeah.
okay with that. Scary man.
Dude, oh my gosh. Just so good.
And his voice, is
I-
the perfect tone for it
I
too.
burned my life for a sunrise that I know I'll never see.
Dude.
The ego that started this fight will never have a mirror or an audience.
Oh my gosh.
It's so good. Oh. Yeah, I know. Everyone's talked this to death on the internet, but whoever wrote that is props to them. So
they're
good.
gonna get hired somewhere and make a lot more money
I hope so. I hope so.
from that one little speech.
All right. Yeah, that's great. Great audio. Just blowing in the mic.
Gosh, dude, just rereading that speech is crazy.
It's so good.
Oh my gosh.
Let's see. What other characters that we need to talk about in this show? Mon Mothma, great in this show.
Oh, dude, we haven't talked about her once.
I haven't talked about her at all, but she's a great part of it.
Dude.
I love seeing the politics of the rebels in the Empire. It's so good.
Yeah, I feel like they at the beginning they focused more on the beginning, like the ISB drama, you know, the political stuff in ISB.
I love seeing the Empire side of it too.
Yeah, and in the
For
middle
sure.
it kind of went more to both, and then
Yeah.
by the end they kind of both fell away because like their arcs are kind of finishing. But I still hope they continue both of them. I want to see Mon Mothma get into more whatever she's getting involved in.
Oh, sure. Her arc isn't finished. She's
Yeah.
she's about to marry her daughter off to a crime lord so that she can make more money or not get caught by the Empire.
Dude, and like, and her most of her best, like the best part of her is like her like reading everything from her face, because like she doesn't have a lot of lines to use, but you can read everything she's dealing with in her face, and it's
Yeah.
crazy.
Her conversations with Tay are so tense. I love them. When they're at like the dinner parties and stuff. Oh, it's so good.
Oh gosh, you feel like she's in a room that she is not supposed to be in, and no one knows it yet, but
Yeah.
she knows it. And
Yeah.
she's like, it's just so tense. It's so crazy.
It's great. And like she's married to Perrin, who doesn't seem to give a crap about anything, and she hates him for it.
Just a little frat boy. That's all he
Yeah.
is.
Yeah, exactly.
Freaking rich frat boy.
Can you figure out why her daughter hates her?
Dude, I don't know what the whole resentment for her is.
I mean, obviously she is like trying to go back to the old ways just to get
Yeah.
back at her mom.
I guess her
But-
mom's like a
Just
busy
absent?
Yeah, like absent because she's always trying to help people. and
Yeah,
she's
trying to be a
fully
leader
with
of the
her family
rebellion.
as a result of that. You know, it's like her family's being punished for her, you know, good things she's trying to do. I guess I don't know. But-
I love how this is showing. This is the leader of the rebellion, but they have her like she's just not on good footing right now.
No.
She is panicky. She is paranoid, obviously for good reason.
Mhm.
Like she seems way in over her head, and she's constantly being watched. And like I love my favorite part though that she does there at the end is she kind of uses knowing she's being watched to her advantage and throwing her husband under the bus
yes.
to throw him off the track of her
At
her
that
lost
point,
money.
at that point, you know, she's like her relationship with her husband. It is no longer a factor in her.
And her daughter. She's
Yeah.
given up all of it for the rebellion. She's like,
Yeah.
you know what? This is what I got to do.
Yeah, I can't help them or fix them. So like I'm just gotta let them do what they're gonna
Yeah.
do. And so I
It's
think
crazy.
her arc is going to be super sad.
Yes.
Super sad. 'Cause
Yeah.
I feel like bad things are going to happen to both those characters,
Yeah.
and she's going to escape somehow. But
hmm
I'm worried about them. I feel like he might get put in torture by ISB, and he's going to be clueless of what's happening just because of his wife.
So true.
The political parties and stuff, and all like I like that kind of stuff too. So
I love
time he
that-
was on screen. I was like, ooh, what's going to happen?
I agree. I agree because the dialogue's so good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I love seeing the Senate again. Love seeing the floating chairs. That's
Yeah.
cool.
We even got to see some of I forgot their names. I don't know their names. So like the people that are with Palpatine.
Yeah. His advisors.
Yeah, yeah.
So the locations of the show, you had Ferrix, which is his home planet. Pretty good. I liked it.
Mhm.
Everything felt real. I appreciated that too. They didn't use the volume in this show,
Yeah, it was a
and
full
and
set.
it showed. Yeah,
It's
real
huge.
sets. Aldani was beautiful. I loved that. Coruscant, seeing Coruscant again, amazing. And then you had Namos, which was the beach planet that he gets arrested on. And I love the idea of that planet,
Yeah,
of just being like a vacation planet.
yeah,
And then now it's being taken over by the Empire. So like at the end there's nobody there anymore.
yeah.
Because it's like
Dude,
there's nothing.
I noticed that. I was like, oh, well, no one wants to go there anymore.
Yeah. And then Narcana 5, which I think was the prison area. And then Segura Milo, which I had to look that one up because I'm like, what other places? That's where Saw Gerrera's at.
Yeah,
So let's get into Saw Gerrera a little bit. I loved how they used him. I think he might have been best in this show versus Rogue One or even like some of his other cameos in Rebels, Clone
Yeah.
Wars, God, Fallen Order.
oh, he's
I
in
do love
Fallen
how
Order?
he's kind of like a connector to all the peripheral
Yeah,
canon now. It's like you got Saw Gerrera, okay, you're legit.
yeah. The I thought it was cool that you could. Obviously, it's way in the future of Rogue One, but in like Rogue One, he has like no limbs. So like he's almost all robotic. But in
Yeah.
this one, he's normal. Like I think he's maybe missing one limb. Maybe
I was gonna say he's missing a bit, but you can
Yeah.
see like he's starting to go a little
he
crazy.
looks like Darth Vader in
his-
Rogue One.
Yeah, his paranoia is just getting the better of him now
Yeah.
too. I love how he feels like he's in charge of his own like group, and then there at the end he realizes I'm not really in charge. This guy's in charge.
Dude, he made
Luthen-
him second guess his entire crew with one
Yes.
sentence, dude.
So good.
But
And he's like, "You're willing to give up Krieger?" And then all of a sudden he realizes like he would give me up. He'd give anybody up. He doesn't
Mhm.
care. And then it's just so good, dude. And then he makes the decision like he's right though. We got to
Yeah.
we got to let Krieger die.
yeah,
And like,
Luthen manipulates people so well.
so good. Yeah.
But back to what you're saying about the locations. The Ferrix one is my favorite just because it's a huge real set. Like it's a freaking city. You know, they built
Yeah.
multiple streets and stuff, and they can like play with it
Mhm.
physically with like explosions and all those kinds of things. That's not digital,
Right.
which felt way more like you're saying. It felt way more real because some of those, like again, freaking Boba Fett and sometimes Mandalorian, but not as much. And in Obi-Wan, it's like okay, they're on a soundstage somewhere.
Yeah.
And you can
Obi-Wan running from Darth Vader in that third episode. I'm like,
Yes,
I have no idea where we're at.
Yes.
It's just running in circles in the dark.
yeah. So
But-
I really like that. It felt open, like it felt.
I hope I'm not a hater of the volume. I think it looks good and it's better than some green screen for sure. But I think that you got to use it in moderation before, the illusion kind of goes away if you're looking at it all the time.
Yeah,
Well, last shot of the season was the Death Star. I loved that it shows he helped build the Death Star dish that ends up killing him.
yes.
It's just a fitting into Andor, man. That dude just can't catch a break.
Did you see? Because I didn't notice it, so I saw this on like some review or whatever. That the audio from the intro each episode grows. Yeah, it changes, and then if you add them all together, it sounds like one like harmonious sound or whatever.
Yes.
I didn't notice that at all. I looked
Awesome.
back and I was like, "Dang, that's good."
Yeah. Yeah, because I kept skipping the intro, and I'm like, why is it
Same.
making me watch Andor?
Every
Why
time.
the Andor title
30
screen?
second intro. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. But now I'm like, oh, clever.
Yeah.
They were like, hey, we really put a lot of time and effort into this. We really don't want people skipping it.
Yeah.
Man, any closing thoughts? Anything else?
Um.
Got any
Going back
predictions
to-
for the next season?
Yeah, I'll do predictions, but I want to go back to one thing. One of my favorite scenes was one of my favorite characters is Andor's buddy, the big giant dude. I don't know his name. I can't remember. his name.
Brazo?
Is it Brazo? Yeah, I guess. Every scene he's in, he's
The
awesome.
guy at the end with the brick?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Every scene he's in, he's awesome. But the one where they're in a tunnel and he's telling him what his mom told him,
Oh,
and then
dude.
instead of saying she said this, he said it as if she was him or her, like as if she was saying it
Uh-huh.
to him. And then like what she said, like basically let him off the hook. And that whole scene was so cool because it's like their relationship made that scene work in a real life situation, and then you
Yeah.
felt that on screen through their acting, obviously. So
They felt like real friends.
Yeah.
And you don't get that a lot in
Yeah, I think that was my
shows,
second
really.
thing.
Not just Star Wars. Like to see true friendship on screen, just impressive.
yeah, it was good. I think that was my favorite second favorite scene. Even though it's real minor, I don't know. I like that one a lot. But
Yeah. No, that's a good pick. That's a good pick. Any predictions? You said you had some.
yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm probably gonna ask the question back. Do you think how many of the characters we've met are going to be main characters in the next season, besides
Bix?
Andor and Mon Mothma and Luthen?
I think Bix will because she's on the ship with him. Brazo might be, even though I thought he might be more of a character in this one. But he's also on the ship that escapes Ferrix. Who else might be a big factor? Honestly, those are the only two I think that'll be holdovers. That's the thing about this show is each new like movie in quotes had its own set of characters almost, and
Yeah.
then they got rid of them, and it was crazy.
Yeah. The
Uh,
the two girls that survived, the whole show essentially. Is it
oh
Vale?
yes, Val and
and
Cinta.
yeah, Cinta. Dude, Cinta is a freaking G.
She just shanked that dude in the hallway.
She just assassinates people like it's like no problem.
Uh-huh.
So I'm
Do you
excited.
think
for
she
them.
killed that family of Imperials? I think it was implied that she killed them
Where or when?
in the heist. In the heist, that she has them all, and they shut the door, and she's in the top view looking down at them.
Oh yeah,
She's
yeah.
got them all tied up. Then it just never shows them again, and she's walking away.
Oh, I didn't even pick up on that.
Yeah, I think she killed
Dude.
them.
She's a psycho. Oh my god.
Yeah, yeah, and she's like single-minded.
Yeah. I mean that makes sense too because the whole episode, Val's like, trying to like connect with her, and she's like, no, business, 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 like Luthen.
Uh-huh.
I'm just like,
Yeah.
geez, girl. But I think they'll have a bigger role too. I hope a couple of them survive, but like, I'd be okay with a lot of them dying just because that's kind
Where
of
are
what
they?
the precedent is now. So
Yeah.
I don't.
What about
I have no idea
K2SO?
what's
You think
going-
we're going to see him in the second one?
who?
K2SO?
Bro, I
Cassie's
hope
best
so.
friend in the Rogue One?
I hope so. I need a robot. All right, that little red robot wasn't doing it for me. He wasn't in there enough.
Dude, he was the saddest little thing, man. I was like, holy cow, every time he was on there, I'm like, you're just so sad.
Yeah. Everyone was dying that he loved. It's so bad.
Yeah. I know.
But yeah,
Goodness.
K2SO, and they'd make because I know like Star
K2SO
Wars
is my favorite robot in Star Wars.
oh by far, and they would.
When I was,
think
I don't know
they'd
about
look-
by far. R2D2 is legit, but K2SO, man, is hilarious.
the older R2D2 is not good. He just beeps and boops. There's no
He
like
beeps
emotion.
and boops in a positive way, man. He
Yeah.
dueled Yoda in one.
And but yeah, K2SO will get a lot more views because he is one of the better characters of Rogue One. So I think that'll help out a lot.
Mm.
Plus, he's comedic relief. So.
Man, though, the one time we see those Imperial droids, man, they're scary. Like
yeah.
choking him out.
I thought they were going to introduce him after that episode.
I thought so too. I'm like, oh, here we go. He's gonna
Yeah.
find a way to, and instead they just send him to prison.
Yeah. And I completely forgot about him. I completely forgot about K2SO the entire show after that. That's how good. Like
Wow.
I wasn't because I was wanting
You were
to.
just enthralled. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just waiting for it to happen, and then I just completely forgot because I got so locked into the show. But he needs to be
Yeah.
in there. But yeah, I don't know.
Um,
I'm excited.
yeah.
Is it 2 years away? Did I hear that correctly?
I think so. Yeah. But at least that it's been greenlit, and at least they already started it before they saw the numbers and aren't gonna make a second one.
Yeah,
Like since this show apparently has not gotten the same buzz.
it's got
I'm like,
nominated.
oh,
for some
thank
stuff.
goodness they already had agreed to a second season. Otherwise, we might not never gotten it.
They're nominating it for several things. Though, I'm pretty sure.
They should.
Yeah, I gotta. Let me
It's
see
amazing.
see if I can find it. I saw it somewhere that it was nominated for. There's 3 nominations that I'm seeing immediately,
Oh, you
and it's
making me
best
do
actor.
work here.
So it's Andor stuff for Andor
Yeah.
the character.
All right,
But-
you ready to wrap it up?
Yeah.
Anything else to say?
That's pretty much it.
This show is awesome. I hope you agree. If you listen to this whole thing, you probably do agree because all we've done is just praise it. But I hope we get more dialogue like this in Star Wars. If Kenobi had these writers, Kenobi would have been spectacular.
Gosh, I
It would
couldn't
have been
imagine.
mind blowing.
I could not
But-
imagine if Obi-Wan was like if this show was about Obi-Wan or something. How
Yeah.
crazy that show would be.
So, I mean, I'm not saying we need to get away from the Force and the Sith and, that kind of stuff. I just think that we need to write better, write intentionally, write good characters, write good arcs. Like this show has a blueprint for how to make quality TV that's not just Star Wars fan service. And
Yes.
let's just keep doing that. You know, like
Like,
it's not hard. I mean, it is hard, but there are people out there that can do it.
yeah, like
I mean,
if they had, if this whoever made this show, all the people that made it had like the ability to remake The Force Awakens,
yeah, start it from the
Poe,
ground up, baby.
with Poe and Finn and all their characters. Like, there's so many things that had potential going into the new trilogy that sucked,
Yeah.
and that they could have done so much better with. But sorry, I'm gonna get bitter.
No,
again.
you're right.
I'm gonna get bitter.
You're right. we get slightly negative, and then we're like, okay, no, let's stay positive.
We'll try to stay positive.
All right, man. Thanks for joining the show again. Hey, you're always welcome. If there's something you want to talk about, hit me up. We'll get it on the YouTube
sure.
page. We'll get it on the Spotify. We'll get conversations going.
Yeah, no problem. I'll have to find a couple things and send you a text.
Yeah, because surely we're not going to wait 2 years and then have you back as a guest. You know?
No, I won't let that happen. I'll force the issue if I have to.
All right. Well, thanks everyone for listening. Don't forget to give us a 5-star rating and like and subscribe. You know the drill. So, all right, later.
Peace.